These small round bones are salmon vertebrae. They came from Smokehouse Island, an archaeological site in north-central British Columbia on Lake Babine. The site is on the territory of the Lake Babine Nation and appears to have been used solely for the catching and processing of salmon. The excavation of the site uncovered tens of thousands of these salmon vertebrae. Lake Babine Nation initiated this project through Dr. Farid Rahemtulla of UNBC to learn more about their ancestral occupation of the land and to confirm their oral histories. But what can salmon bones tell us about that? Well, these numerous remains demonstrate that salmon were important to people on the Northwest Coast. Simply looking at them doesn't tell us anything about the actual fishery practices. It is through ancient DNA analysis that we have begun to unlock information that holds the key to understanding seasonal site occupation and fishery practices utilized by Lake Babine Nation at Smokehouse Island 1,000 years ago. This is the first ever ADNA project to be conducted in that region. These ancient DNA techniques allow me to accurately tell you the sex and species of each of these salmon vertebrae, something we cannot know simply from looking at them. But what does this have to do with site occupation and fishery practices? Well, this region sees 5 different species of salmon. Through using ancient DNA analysis to identify a species-specific marker in the DNA from the vertebrae, we can discover what species the vertebrae came from. We also know that each of these species spawn at different times. So from learning the species present archaeologically, we can know in what seasons the site was used to fish. Ancient DNA analysis can also inform us about the sex of the salmon when we use a marker specific to the Y chromosome. Through identifying the proportions of male and female salmon, we're able to determine if a sex-selective harvesting strategy was used. We know it was possible to select for male or female salmon when fishing, as when spawning, they appear distinct. So far, we've seen a 100% success rate for DNA amplification. Sockeye is the most predominant species seen in the data, with coho and chinook also represented, suggesting fishery occurring throughout the summer and the fall. We also see that 70% of samples are male salmon, suggesting a male preferential harvesting practice, enhancing sustainability through avoiding capture of the reproductive female fish. These small bones are the vital first step towards understanding how salmon were utilized by Indigenous people in north-central British Columbia 1,000 years ago. The results from this project will also provide more detailed information to the Lake Babine Nation people about how their ancestors utilized their territory. Thank you.